Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 4 of the Buffalo Music Mafia. I'm Thomas S. Orwatt Jr. from glammetal.com and rockmusicstar.com.
Yeah, I'm Joseph Sudo from rockshowcritique.com, and welcome to episode 4, like Thomas said.
Yes, episode number 4. We're pretty excited. A lot of us in the Buffalo area, Western New York area, are really looking forward to going to see some concerts this summer. It looks like they're actually going to happen. Maybe not as many as we want to happen, but there are going to be some. Joe, do you have any concerts that you're going to check out this summer? Like, what is your first one that you think you're going to see?
Well, looking at the old calendar, looks like July 3rd over at Big Indian Smoke Shop in Irving, New York. Looks like what a better show to start off the whole festivities with than that one.
Yeah, that one's going to have Faster Pussycat with Enough's Enough, and also Hair Nation. It's going to be a great triple bill. Hey, you know what? We should maybe get one of the members of one of those bands to be our guest this week. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's a great idea. Talk about the show, help build it up. Oh, I got the perfect person. None other than Chips Enough.
That sounds great. Let's get Chip. And here's our special guest, Chip's Enough. Chip, how are you doing today?
Very good today. Thank you very much for asking. It's good to see both of your mugs.
Yeah, likewise. Chip, one of the reasons that we wanted to have you as a guest here on the Buffalo Music Mafia is because I'm not sure if you realize this, but you will be like one of the very first bands that many people in Western New York see for the very first time coming out of the pandemic when you play on Saturday, July 3rd at the Big Indian. So we are like really psyched.
It's about time. You guys deserve it. I mean, every time I come out to the East Coast, it's always big shows. It's with Howard Stern or with Eddie Trunk at Sirius XM. Wonderful friends of mine. We've always played good shows in New York. It goes back for a long time. Back from '89 when we were at Atco Records, all those years ago, playing all the big places, Irving Meadows, and what's that one? You guys got a wonderful venue out there called Radio City Music Hall. One of my favorite memories there, playing there with the band Nelson, sold out show, just fantastic. Right. Real honor to play out there. Yeah. And then playing Mayor Dankins was the mayor out there. I played the big street fair party out there as well. Of course, Howard Stern's book signing party with Dee Snider. Really great moments I've had in New York doing all those Letterman performances. One of my favorite places to play in America.
Yeah. Well, this is actually closer to Western New York, Buffalo, New York, but you've played some great shows here as well.
Buffalo. Hey, listen, I got stories on Buffalo too. My first time getting stiffed on playing a gig and didn't get paid.
Are you kidding?
We had to strong arm the guy to give us our money at the end of the night. It was unbelievable. I finally got out of Buffalo around 5 o'clock in the morning with my tail between my legs. But the fans out there are wonderful, great people out there, and right across there is Canada, so you can't go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what do you have for Chip?
Well, tell us what you guys have been up to lately, as far as everything with the music. Album came out and everything. Tell us what you've been up to.
Last record came out in July of last year on Frontiers Records, wonderful label. It's called Brainwash Generation. And then, of course, we were locked out. We were locked down. There was nothing we could do. Everybody was out of work. So I went right in the studio and started recording. And I just finished up a new project called The Beatles Rock Show. And it's all Beatles songs done like, it's just picture Stone Temple Pilots and Cheap Trick fighting in an alley, and Enough's Enough comes in the breakup.
Nice.
That's what that record's all about. 10 fabulous songs. It'll be out in Frontiers sometime, I think, in August. And then I'm working on a solo record with Frontiers as well. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet.
Wow.
Got a bunch of guests playing with me on the record. And I've been staying busy doing that, plus producing bands. I'm producing Midnight Devils, former members of the Pretty Boy Floyd guys, and some projects here in Chicago as well. I just did a recording with John Anderson from Yes. He's got a track coming out there for this COVID-19 where a bunch of different members are going to be playing on it with him. Most notably Kip Winger. Who else is on there? The guy from Iron Maiden, Nico McBrain, playing drums on it. I'm singing on the track with John Anderson as well. He's got that fabulous violin player on there too. I can't think of his name right now. It eludes me because I've been burning the candle at both ends the last couple of days. Jean-Luc Ponty.
Jean-Luc Ponty.
Ponty on there.
Yeah, Jean-Luc
Fabulous
Ponty, right? Yeah.
violin player. And a cast of characters that are on the record. It's really, really strong. And then I just did something with the guys from Jellyfish and Donnie V, my brother, a song called Party. We shot the video here in Chicago. So I was, and we were social distancing, so nobody get mad. Wore a mask until we got on stage. And last but not least, I was in the studio with the guitar player Ryan Roxy from Alice Cooper's band, along with the singer, former guitar player of Jellyfish, and we did a track. We did "Creep" by Radiohead, another version of that. So I can't say I've been lazy. I've been working hard and staying busy, and I'm real excited about this upcoming tour that we're going to be embarking on, where we come toward you with Faster, Pussycat, and Enuff's Enough. Two bands who have had a lot of MTV airplay. We've got a couple of hit songs apiece. And we'll be going out on an Oscar Mayer Wiener wagon for about, I'd say, 2 months.
Oh, wow. You got the Wiener wagon for this one, huh?
Yeah, I got lucky on it. I got to be honest with you. It's pretty good. And we talked about, we wanted to be comfortable. And listen, in the old days, it was a beautiful tour bus, an ounce of cocaine, packed with booze, tons of girls on the bus as well. And now it's down to where we go out in a little van and we travel around the country like that because it's quite expensive to be on tour. But I was playing out in Vegas last year. We were doing who's the guy with where's the clock from the
Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav had a party and we played his party. And at the party, I met a guy who had a bus company, a real good guy named Rick Muse. And he says, hey, anytime you're going on tour, let me know. I have a 45-foot Prevost packed with loudmouth soup. I said, you're in. So we'll have a bus on the tour. So I'm pretty excited about what the future holds. If everything holds up like it's been, everybody's getting their vaccine, I think that we're going to see some of the smaller shows be able to withstand the punishment that we've taken for the last year and so a couple months. And then the bigger shows will follow next year, of course.
Yeah. Now, as far as your Beatles show, do you plan on taking that out on the road too? Eventually,
the Beatles Rock show will be on the road. We're booked by a company called Artists Worldwide out of Los Angeles, a guy named Greg, and I think that you're going to be really surprised at that guy. Chuck Burnell's our agent, and it's fantastic what we've put together here. I've never seen anything like it. I watched a lot of Beatle cover bands, but they're all wear wigs and they all wear and they're all groups that play bands that basically focus on the early Beatles material, the pop side of the Beatles. We've taken those songs and it's on 11 now. It's like, to quote Spinal Tap, it's heavier than sin. It's hard rock and heavy metal Beatles. No one's ever done it. There'll be a lot of copycats after this one, my friend.
Yeah, and if anybody's interested, they can check it out. You guys recently did a show on it was streamed on Facebook. It was Monsters Rock Cruise, right?
Monster Cruise, Facebook / Monster Rock Cruise. Larry Moran put it all together. He's the guy that puts together Monster Rock Cruise. Guy's got a Brinks truck full of chippy poos. He had an idea. He says, why don't you bring the Beatles rock show to the Monsters of Rock Cruise / Facebook page, of course. And we can do a show, a live streaming show, and let's not charge everybody a penny. Let's make it free for everybody out there. And we probably had about 25,000 people watching us on that show for free. It was fantastic. People donated. There's some really nice, generous people out there in the country. But for the most part, it was just a free rock show. And then we just took that footage and we used that as a show reel to let all our constituents know that there's a new project called the BeatlesRockShow.com. You can check it out. It's really simplifying. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Beatles Rock Show, and you'll be able to see what we're all about. And it's pretty Sesame Street. It's the Beatles on 11. It's fantastic. I enjoy playing a song. It's quite a challenge. I got Tony Fennell from Ultravox playing guitar and singing with me, along with Tori Stoff-Reagan, who used to play with New Black Seven. He also has a band called the Black Mollies, and Daniel Benjamin Hill, whose father's in a world-famous band I won't mention.
How hard was it to come up with the songs that you decided to record?
It wasn't very hard because let's face it, the Beatles repertoire is just vast beyond belief. I looked at my friends in different bands like the Foo Fighters and Cheap Trick and Def Leppard that have covered Beatles songs. And I said, there's a nice couple tunes right there. Aerosmith did a wonderful version of Come Together, which we do in a set, but it's not on the new record. I just looked at all the people out there that are putting up Beatles stuff that have been in the same genre as Enuff's Enough. And we put together songs fairly quickly. We didn't try to do it exactly like the Beatles because obviously it's a hard rock, heavy metal version of the Beatles. But we kept the authenticity of the songs intact. Those are well-written songs. They're timeless. And the Beatles have tons of fans. And I can't wait for Ringo and Paul to hear this. I think they'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it's awesome. Are you gonna throw in a couple Enough's Enough songs during the set list when you go out and play those Beatles songs? I mean, for all of your devoted fans that go there.
Yeah, that's funny you asked that because we were just asked by one of the promoters out in Denver. That's our first show was in Denver at Arena on the 8th of next month. And the promoter said, hey, can you please throw a couple of the hits that Enuff Enough has performed on MTV in the set? So we'll be playing the Beatles set, of course, the Beatle Rock Show set. And of course, at the end of it, we'll add on maybe New Thing and Fly and Michelle as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a big party, a big celebration of life. You know, I have my own radio show, you guys. I'm on radio every 6 days a week. I'm on the Monsters of Rock on Dash Radio. So dashradio.com. You download the app. It's satellite radio. It's free. And we got 30 million plus subscribers. I have about 600,000 people a day listening to me. And it's basically a show that focuses on hard rock and heavy metal. There's 25,000 songs to pick from. I play everybody in there from Metallica to Queen, Cheap Trick, Mott the Hoople, David Bowie, Iron Maiden. And then, of course, I throw the new bands in there as well, like Greta Van Fleet, Rival Sons, Vintage Trouble. I think, of course, the new Van Halen, which is a Mammoth WVH. Right. I'm playing all the new stuff and the old stuff together. It fits perfectly. The fans that love it. And it's basically me shooting the fodder for a couple of minutes. And then I play 7 or 8 songs in a row. And right now the numbers are skyrocketing through the world because of the fact that it's a free live show. I mean, people just want to get on there and they want to hear their favorite music. And terrestrial radio, they're scared to death of us because, and by the way, we're on about 50 terrestrial radio stations around the country. But over at Dash Radio, those guys, they embrace everything. There's no rules or regulation. It's really no handcuffs, just showcasing great songs from the past and from the present.
Wow. Sounds like you never rest.
It's pretty busy over here. I got to be honest with you. I'm talking to you right now from Blue Island, Illinois, where I live with my lovely wife, Kate Catalina. And every single day, it's always something going on here, whether it's a recording session, doing my radio show, or taking Zoom calls, because that's the new thing nowadays. That's the interviews in the old days. You get on the phone, you talk for, 5 or 10 minutes. Now Zoom calls, you're on for a half an hour, and people are real excited to see your face. They know you're alive. And I think it's a real nice way to share what's going on in your life.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us about, you guys have recorded so many songs over the years. You got such a build-up catalog. It's unbelievable. So I was going to ask you about a couple songs, just a quick take on how they came about. First one is Baby Loves You. Give me how you guys came about writing that one.
Well, it's pretty simple. I used to have a little place out here in Blue Island, a little small apartment. We had no money at all. It was 2231 Prairie. Donnie and I, all we would do is sit with a drum machine and write songs all day. We had no record deal. We had no electricity. We had no telephone. There was no cell phones back then. We ran a cord out to the hallway of the apartment complex and then hooked into the electricity there and ran an extension cord into our apartment. And that gave us power. And it would only come on from 11 o'clock at night to about 1 in the morning, and it would shut off. So we would record there. Donnie climbed up the telephone pole behind the house and hooked in our telephone. So if anybody picked up the phone, we have to hang up immediately. I'm telling you, the stuff that we did was incredible. And we recorded that song in a small little bedroom of our 3-bedroom little apartment that we had on in Blue Island. And then from there, we sent those demo tapes out to Derek Showman, who was our A&R director. Derek Showman, by the way, used to be the singer in Gentle Giant. He has his own imprint over at Polygram Records. His first two signings were Bon Jovi and Cinderella. They went huge. And then Atco Atlantic gave him his own imprint there. And we were one of his first signings along with AC/DC and Pantera. And from there, we took that song, and it wasn't even going to make the record. I begged the label, hey, this is the single on the record. And they said, okay, Chip, go ahead and record it. They never showed up at the studio. We were out at Music Grinder in Los Angeles doing the second album, Strength. And after a couple of weeks, Donnie and I, we just couldn't stop writing. All we did is smoke pot all day, write songs, and invite our favorite rock stars, whether it's Cheap Trick or Steve Salas or Dweezil Zappa, or, rock, and movie stars would come by too and see us. Jennifer Connelly used to come by and hang out with us in the studio, and we would just write these songs and then put them down. And at the end of that record, we had 32 songs we recorded. Finally, Atco Atlantic Records showed up at the studio to see what we were doing, and Derek Showman says, "Oh, guys, after hearing all the songs, he goes, we have a good problem." And we said, "What's that?" He says, "Too many good songs. We got to cut it down." And somehow Baby Loves You made the final cut. We shot a video for it. David Letterman said, "Hey, would love to have you on the show." As his producer, Morty, invited us onto the show. We went down to Letterman's studio. First thing we asked for was a place we can go smoke. We went down in the boiler room. We smoked a joint. David smoked a cigar with us. And then we ended up going on stage and playing with the Letterman band, doing that song, and it took off for us. It was really a wonderful performance and a great opportunity for Enuff Snuff on a song that was not even supposed to make the record. So that came up. It's pretty self-explanatory. Could be for anybody. I'm not going to tell you what the song's about, because what it means to one person might mean something to another. But a great pop rock song that shows the tattoos and the scars of what Enuff Snuff carries.
Yeah, definitely a song. Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
And so this single night, guys, I'll make sure on the quarantine tour of Faster Pussycat this summer, you'll hear "Baby Loves You" every single night.
All right, we're gonna keep you to that, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
Definitely. One other song I just want to ask you about. Came along a little later on the album 10.
Yeah.
The opening track, "There Goes My Heart." Definitely that Beatles influence is so relevant right up there. Tell us about that one.
Sure. We were recording at a place at Johnny Kay's studio. Johnny Kay's the producer for Disturbed. He also did Megadeth and a bunch of bands, and the guy's fabulous. And we were working out of his house. This is before he took off. He had no money at the time as well. And we recorded that song over at his studio in his front room. We had no separation. It was a front room, no windows, no partitions. We did the basic tracks live in the studio, 1, 2, 3, 4, and started playing a song. Donnie had a beautiful storyline, a great lyric for it. I helped a little bit with a couple of riffs. For the most part, that was his baby. I mean, guy's a fabulous songwriter, just a great 1-2 takes on the vocals. It's incredible what he did. We went and sang the harmonies, laid everything down there. Johnny mixed it for us. And then Disturbed record took off. They had The Sickness that came out, and he took off. He ended up selling that house that he had on Kedzie Avenue. It's now a Tai Chung restaurant, Chinese restaurant, and he moved down to the north side of Chicago. In the meantime, we took that song and those demos recorded everything on 2-inch tape, by the way. It was all analog recordings. And then we went over to Chicago Recording Company and tweaked everything up. I think we ended up finishing that over at a place called 1313 with a guy named Mike Thalone. Fabulous producer, great engineer. And he tweaked it up for us, and we mixed the record with, I think it was Chris Steinman's over at Chicago Recording Company, and ended up putting it out. And listen, nothing was happening. It was a change in the guard. Then you had Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Mudhoney, Nirvana, all that stuff was in there. Everybody's wearing flannels and boots and shorts, and we were behind the 8 ball. We weren't the flavor of the month whatsoever. But I got a telephone call from one of the movie theaters, and they said, "Hey, Chip, we've been trying to get a hold of you." It was a girl named Robin Erding. She called me and she says, I'm with the company, and we're looking for a song for this movie called The Promotion with John C. Reilly, who just did Talladega Nights. and we want to use your song. It's just 45 seconds of the song we need for the trailer. And we said, absolutely. I said, is there any kind of fee? She says, yeah, it's 10 grand. I said, here's my address. So we finally got a little bit of a payday. And then we took a friend of ours who called us from Los Angeles, said, hey, we'd love to shoot a video for the track. We'll pay for you guys to come to Los Angeles. Won't cost you nothing. And we shoot the video. And we jumped in a plane and flew to Los Angeles, shot the video. And it gave us a little bit of attraction. We were able to get out there. Probably has hundreds of thousands of hits on YouTube. But more importantly, it put us in where we got a chance to get some radio airplay, and we went out on tour to support the record at a time when no bands like us that came out at that era were getting any help at all, unless you sold millions and millions of records and you were a Def Leppard or Aerosmith or Motley Crue or Poison or any of those bands. You were pretty much in big trouble, and we were able to navigate those waters, and it gave us just enough traction to where we were able to do another record after that. So my favorite track on the record, by the way, talks about all the days of the week. It's a pretty self-explanatory song, but probably one of the stronger pop songs in Enuff Snuff repertoire. And guys, I'm not bragging, but we have 20 albums out. We have 250 songs that we released. I'm pretty proud of our catalog that Donnie and I have come up with throughout the years, and it hasn't stopped yet. We keep putting records out. Donnie's doing solo records. His Beautiful Things record is fabulous, folks. You want to get a chance to hear a wonderful pop record, check out what he's got going on. The new single he's got, Party, is really good. He's got the guys from Jellyfish, Roger Manning, and myself playing on the record. And I think the Enuff Snuff stuff holds up as well. And Donnie's on that record too. He's singing on a track on that. And he also co-wrote a couple songs with me on that Brainwash Generation record as well. So things are going pretty good right now, guys. I know we're going through tough times, and I see how bad it is for a lot of people. And I say my prayers are out to all of them. I always give shout outs on my Monster Rock radio station to all our first responders, our nurses, our doctors, our military, the cops, the firemen, everybody out there is keeping us safer in the world. It's very important to pay respect to our forebears. And we're lucky to be making records right now. If it wasn't for those people, I probably wouldn't be out there doing this. I'd probably be stuck in the house scared to death. But I see a light at the end of the tunnel for you guys and myself. And all we can do is hang in there and weather this storm.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to ask a question about 2004. In 2004, there was talk about the original lineup reuniting. And we all know, well, I know, and I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this and follow the band know that unfortunately there was tragedy in the band when Derek Frigo died of an overdose. How much of a shock was that to you that happened, and how much of it must have been devastating to you and the other two members of Enuff's Enuff.
Of course, anytime you lose a loved one, it's devastating. We just got back together. We went over to Chicago Recording Company down here in Chicago, where they have Pearl Jam and Page and Plant were in there recording, and Smashing Pumpkins. We're in a really good place, and we were recording the Question Mark records in hopes that we'd all be able to go out and do another tour, whether maybe it was just going to be Europe or Japan. But we knew we had a deal in place with Japan, our constituents, King's Records. They're good people there. So we did the record, and then 3 weeks after that was when the tragedy happened, and we lost a real brother right there, and it pretty much took the wind out of our sails. But we knew that we had to move on. We ended up signing the deal anyway. We put the record out there. That caused problems as well because his family came after us, most notably his mom, thinking there was a lot of money there, and there wasn't. The record cost us, in Sesame Street terms, a record probably costs about 25 grand. They gave us 30 grand to do the record. And after we were all said and done, we were another 15 grand in debt, just mixing everything and mastering the album. So we were in the hole before the record even came out there. It was basically a bandage on a gunshot wound, that album. But we were able to withstand the punishment, and we were able to make another record right after that, which was great. But you always miss my brother, Derek. I watch the old YouTube videos. I see the stuff on Vivo and YouTube talking about the story of Enuff Snuff. No one knows the proper story and exactly what happened. It's one of those bands, almost like a Badfinger type band. What a great band they were as well. We went through a lot of trials and tribulations, and we've always fought, and we've always been behind the eight ball, even though we had great managers with Doc McGee, who managed us for years, and then Herbie Herbert, Journey's manager, was our guy. Still best friends with him after 15, 20 years. And then even Bill Acoin managed the band back in the early 2000s when we were on tour on the Glam Slam Metal Jam with Warren, Quiet Riot, and Poison. We've kept our friendships with everybody pretty much intact. We've always been a band that's always been behind the eight ball, as I said earlier. And I believe that at the end of the day, our catalog speaks louder than anything I can tell you guys. I gotta be honest with you. Without the fans, we're not talking right now, guys. It's you cats out there that keep the choo-choo train moving forward, and we're appreciative beyond belief. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, last thing I'm going to ask here. You did a lot of talking here. Is there a book coming out anytime in the near future about the band? That would be such great reading, I feel.
I think there'll be more in the book. I think there'll be a movie, maybe a documentary. There'll be something that's significant out there and it's being worked on right now. That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you anymore. I've written the book. It's basically me on tape talking for 10 hours, chronologically A through Z, the whole alphabet from the beginning all the way till today. How it gets put together. I have a team that's working on it right now. Perhaps you'll hear something next year. These things take a little bit of time, but I definitely want to expose that. I'm proud of our legacy. Donnie and myself have written songs since we've been little kids, and those songs are like embryos. And you grow up, and they grow into your kids. And you're very happy at the end of the day when you can just get a record or two out there when the average life expectancy is really short. So, to see us with this potential to put out a movie, a documentary, a story on the life of Enuff Snuff. It means a lot to me, and I believe that it'll see the light of day in the next year or so. In the meantime, I'm focusing on the new Enuff Snuff, the Beatle record, which is called The Beatles Rock Show. You can get it at BeatlesRockShow.com. You can find us, or EnuffSnuff.com to check out any dates. ENUFF, ZNUFF. You can see any dates that we have coming up in the future. And then my solo record, I don't know when that's going to get released, but I've got all the songs intact. And there's plenty of fodder out there to write about, guys. I got some good stories here.
I bet you do.
They're going to be pleasantly surprised when they hear the new record. And I'll have some guests on there as well. But there's a lot of stuff out there. I just, my hands are full right now. I got to be honest with you. I've taken time out of here to talk to you guys because I appreciate you guys wanting to talk to me and talk about the Enuff Snuff tour that's coming out with Faster Pussycat, which is called the Quarantine 2021 tour, and we're coming in your neck of the woods, and I hope you guys will attend and come backstage and hang out with us.
Oh, we'll be there.
Right.
July 3rd. You'll see us there. You'll see the Buffalo Mafia there.
On there, that means we'll probably be spending July 4th out there with you as well, because I don't see us leaving that night. I'll probably spend the night out there, hang out. Maybe we'll go up there and hang out and see some stuff that's some of your beautiful things that you have out there, like that big canyon. What's it called? It's right out.
The Niagara Falls, maybe?
Yeah, last time I went out to Niagara Falls, the bus broke down. We were stuck there for 4 or 5 hours. It took us forever to get up there because the altitude's so high, and the bus was doing 5 miles an hour to climb up the hill. But maybe it'll be a little bit different this time, and we'll be able to navigate those streets and roads a little bit easier.
Sounds good. All right. Well, Chip, thank you again for your time, and we appreciate it. And we will see you soon on stage. We can't wait.
Hey, thanks to
Chip.
everybody. I appreciate it. I wish you guys nothing but the best out there. Once again, check out my show, Monsters of Rock, on the Dash Radio Network. DashRadio.com, Monsters of Rock, channel 502. You want to hear your favorite bands? Check me out.
All right. That's a wrap.
All right.
Thanks, Chip.
guys.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Take care.
You too, buddy.